I know campaigns cost a lot of money, and to beat Virginia State Senator Louise Lucas, it's going to cost a lot. And that's because people have gotten so used to you're either just a Democrat or a Republican. And the reason why they're losing hope is no longer are these politicians talking as Americans, they are talking as politicians. It's like when they bring up an argument or a debate to the floor, they're saying Americans are struggling, Americans are going through this, without including themselves in the same picture. It's like, okay, Americans are dealing with the consequences of our decisions, but we are not. And to Americans, we like y'all supposed to be Americans too. So you're saying you're not having the same problems at all. You're speaking on our problems and our struggles, but you act like you're not included. And that disconnect or being out of touch with what is going on in modern America is causing the increase in crime. It's causing the depression, the drug addictions, the um, hospitals being so short-staffed, and schools being short-staffed and dealing with record levels of fights. It's because when the pandemic was going on and people was instilling all this fear in each other, Americans could no longer be trusted. So the politicians got away from calling themselves Americans because at that time period they spent their time having Americans at war with each other. You could say the divisive language or the extremist groups, but there's nothing more divisive or more extreme than Congress and a president that has lost sight of what it's like to be American. If Biden was going to a grocery store and spending his hard earned money after working two jobs, he will understand that Americans is really struggling to really live day to day. And that's what these politicians are doing. You know, right now, Americans is looking for American to represent them, not a black American, not a white American, not a Mexican American, American to represent America. And right now, people are representing their political party, not the United States Constitution. They are representing their donors and not the people who got them in office by trusting them with their vote. And when you feel like you are put in this category or group of the struggling and the disadvantaged, while politicians are put in a group of elitism and those who are exempt from the consequences of their actions or their policies, then you see why Americans is so fed up, why this country is divided. America didn't divide America, the politicians did. And you're seeing it now. And that's why I'm encouraging people to speak up on how you feel about what's going on. Because I'm not going to let people forget that I had told every single lawmaker, I said, until we get to the bottom of the damage that was done from this pandemic and give people that need the help, not just one side fits all, that need the help, the resources to rebuild, we are going to see America struggle. And what happens with those who struggle or those who feel like they have nowhere to go or they have no other resource or funding. And what you're going to see is this record levels of unemployment, record levels of crime, record levels of poverty that Americans is not used to seeing at this level because now they are at that level where they're supposed to be building a future. They are just basically trying to keep a roof over their head an extra day. And yeah, I'm sorry, the politicians don't have that problem. So that's why they keep saying it's their problem. No, it's America's problem. And start focusing on the fact that you're American too. And that's exactly what I'm doing, not only for my district, but when I speak, I've got people all over the country trying to hear my next post video or feed because they finally have an American that's speaking for Americans and not biting his tongue. I tell people I'm too old to bite my tongue. I'm just going to tell it like it is. And a real leader is going to take up all options and make the best decision. And right now, we need a leader. And we need a leader that is going to be American, American made and American blessed. And then we're going to start seeing America have the hope and the confidence that we will not bow down, we will not give up, but we will continue to do what we have done throughout time when there's a disaster or a crisis in this country. We will be there and make sure we rebuild together. And what they want us to do is build this new world order apart, but by control of politicians. And that's not America. That's totalitarianism.